everybody, my name is Mr. Francy and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. It is so great to be back here. It is Friday Australian time and you know what that means. It's time for another round of completed SAS list series. Woo! I am very excited today. Can you tell? I am not only very excited to be here to discuss more completed SAS list series, but today we are talking many books, 2 series, 1 amazing author. Can you guess who? If you've been following me long enough, you might know who I'm referring to, what author and what series. I'll just give you a moment. And while I give you that moment, some of you have been wanting to know what a SAS list is, and I'm more than happy to explain it for you. So, a couple of years ago, Elizabeth over at Lizzie Faye Loves Books came up with an idea to create a goal-setting strategy that revolves around series with books. She decided to come up with a list of book series, that she either wanted to start, continue on with, or finish by the end of the year. So, in 2022, she decided to revolve it around the number 22, and the way I chose to do it was to put down 22 series that I either wanted to start, continue on with, or finish. And now I get to report to you all about how I went with them. If there is an issue with the lighting, I want to apologize up front. I've had so many issues with my ring light. I'm going to look to replace it, so I apologize about that. But now that I've said that, let's move on and see if you were right. I am talking about Amanda Flower! Woo! Undoubtedly my favorite female author, if not favorite author, for 2022. I had not read, I don't think, I'll double check that. No, I had not read any Amanda Flower book prior to January of this year, and now I love her so much that I can't wait to celebrate these series. So, let's discuss them. Alright. Okay, got a number of books here, so let's see how we can do this. Alright, so I'm going to show you the order in which I read them. So we'll start off with Candy Shop. There are 2 series, Amish Candy Shop and Amish Matchmaker. I'm going to show you the order in which I read them. I read most of Candy Shop before I began Matchmaker. Candy Shop is the original series. Matchmaker is like a sister series. It is set in the exact same small town, Harvest, Ohio, and we just follow a different set of characters predominantly, but sometimes they do cross over in both series, and the protagonist in Candy Shop is an Englisher, and the protagonist in Matchmaker is an Amish woman. Now, for those of you who don't know, so it's set in Amish country in Harvest, Ohio, and for those of you who don't know, an Amisher refers to someone who is not Amish as an Englisher. So the great thing about this sister series, or one of many great things about both of these series, is that one series follows someone who's not Amish, the other series follows someone who is Amish. Now, if you fear going into either of these series because of it being so heavily dominated with Amish culture, please don't be. The only time that Amish stuff does come up is when it seems rather important to make a comparison about something. Otherwise, one is predominantly focused on sweets and candy and stuff like that, with murder thrown in because it is a cozy mystery series. And the other one, it's kind of hard to say what the theme is. I mean, we'll get into it when we get there. Alright, let's start off with Candy Shop first. So, Assaulted Caramel. This is the first Amanda Flower book that I ever read, and book number 1 in the Amish Candy Shop series. I read this in January. Book number 2, Lethal Licorice. I read this book also in January. Gave this book 5 stars, gave this book 5 stars. Book 3, Premeditated Peppermint. I read this in February, gave it 5 stars. Book number 4 is Toxic Toffee. And I read this in March and gave this book 4 stars. I need to jump back a moment. Book number 3.5 can be found in this one book bind up called Amish Candy Shop Holidays. It is called Criminally Coco. I read this in February and gave that 5 stars. Then I read book 4.5, which also is found in this one. In May. Actually, I read that one on my birthday. How lovely. Like, literally the date of my birthday. And I gave that 4 stars. Then book number 5 is Marshmallow Malice. And I read this book in June and gave it 4 stars. In July, I read the final novella, which is 5.5 Candy Cane Crime. And I gave that 5 stars. Then book number 6, Lemon Drop Dead. I read this book in September and gave it 5 stars. And book number 7, Peanut Butter Panic. I read this in October last month and gave it 5 stars. So overall, a fantastic series. Now let's quickly look at the books in Amish Matchmaker. When did I read them? What did I rate them? All that sort of stuff. So book number 1 is Matchmaking Can Be Murder. I read this in April and I gave it 3 stars. Book number 2 is Courting Can Be Killer. I read this book in October and gave it 4 stars. And book number 3, Marriage Can Be Mischief. I read this in November and I gave this 3 stars. Okay. I kind of want to talk about the Amish Matchmaker series first because I enjoyed it less, but I don't know if I can. Okay, you know what? I will. Because screw the rules. I'm just going to do it my way because I enjoyed it less, so I'm going to talk about it first. Okay, yeah. So 3 books in this series, and as I said, I gave them, what were those ratings again? 3 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. 3 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. Now we're going to put them on the screen so they're easier to see. Okay, book number 1, Matchmaking Can Be Murder. Okay, in this one we are introduced to Millie. Millie is an Amisher. She is known as the Amish Matchmaker, someone who knows who an Amish person's perfect match is, and she coaches them through that. And I was really excited to going into book number 1 because 1, it's by Amanda Flower and I love her. But also because I thought it would be a great idea for a cozy series. What let me down was we didn't get much matchmaking going on. I mean, I had preconceived ideas. I probably shouldn't have, but I had preconceived ideas going in, and my preconceived ideas included that Millie would be sitting down with these Amish people and, you know, finding their perfect match and then having them and their match together and like maybe counseling them or whatever, and none of that happened. It was more of a tell rather than show. Like Millie would spot someone in the street and she'll be like, oh, this is Sarah, and I knew that Sarah's perfect match was Ronald, but Sarah didn't have the guts to ask Ronald out yet, so we'll just have to see how that goes. And it just kind of annoyed me because I would much rather Millie be running her matchmaking company and then Sarah comes to her store and says, I'm looking to, you know, find my perfect match and settle down. And then Millie can go, oh yes, that sounds amazing. Sit down, let me get you some tea and let's discuss who your match is. But no, that didn't happen. So, I mean, I don't know if I agree with the name of the series, and that's nothing to say nothing bad against Amanda Flower. As I've said many times in this video, I love her, but I just feel like the series was inadequately named. I'd probably name it the, like Miss Marple series or something. I mean, it's already been named. So Amish Marple series or something, because Millie has an Englisher friend whose name is Lois, and the pair of them, team up in this book as well as the rest of the series to solve all of the murders that go on. And, Millie's friend whose name is Lois, I have to think of Family Guy, which is so sad to remember her name. Lois continues to call Millie like Amish Marple and stuff like that. So I just feel like that would have been better. It feels less cozy to me and more mystery dominant, this series. And I think that's maybe why I like it less than Candy Shop. But it's not to say I don't like it. I just feel like I like it less than Candy Shop. What can I say? Is there anything else that I can add to this? Alright, let's put up book number 2, Courting Can Be Killer. Yeah, so I gave this book 4 stars. I actually enjoyed this one a heck of a lot more. The ending was really good. The reveal I really enjoyed. If you are going to put out a cozy mystery series that is more mystery dominant, for me personally as a reader, I will rely heavily on an amazing reveal at the end of the book. If you are releasing a cozy mystery series that is more cozy dominant, then I don't mind so much if it's an amazing reveal or not, because I'm there for the cozy side. And Amanda Flowers certainly fulfilled that with this book, and I really appreciated it. I liked the mystery, the reveal was great, fantastic job. Book number 3, Marriage Can Be Mischief, was okay. I gave it 3 stars. I really wasn't that intrigued by the mystery at all, to be honest, but on the cozy side, we do get to meet Millie's nephew and spend a bit of time with him, and I really enjoyed that. So Millie has no children of her own, and she is widowed. Her sister, however, has 3 kids, and we kind of see them here and there, but don't get to know them so well. In this book, Millie actually has some one-on-one time with one of the kids, her sister's children, and we get to know him, and I really appreciated that side of it. So, look, I have to say on the whole, Lois definitely makes the series for me, and I don't think that the series is horrible by any means. I think that it is fine as a series, and I will keep reading it, which, if I think a cozy mystery series is horrible, I have no problem DNFing it and moving on. But, so it's good enough for me to keep going, but compared to what I'm about to discuss with y'all, it was an okay series. So yeah, 3 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, kind of says it all. Alright, now let's discuss Amish Candy Shop. So, yeah, this series I absolutely love. Not every single book in the series received 5 stars, but at lowest, I feel like it received 4. Yeah, the lowest rating any Candy Shop book from me got was 4 stars. So, and that includes the novellas. I don't remember the last time that I read a series, including the novellas, to the point that I was so, I say this in a good way, obsessed with a series. Like, okay, there's book 3 and then 3.5. Okay, I need to read through book 3.5 before I read book 4. There's a 4.5. I need to read 4.5. Like, seriously. I was so diligent with this series. I loved it so much. Let's begin. Book number 1, Assaulted Caramel, is the first book that I've read by Amanda Flower, and it was fantastic. I had heard so many different things about this series last year, and it felt like such a massive tease for me. I put it onto my SAS list for this year, and all throughout December, I'm thinking, okay, I can't wait to get started. I'm going to finally read Candy Shop. It's going to be amazing. And then I got to January and I thought, oh my goodness, what if I read book 1 and I don't like it? Oh my gosh, I hope I do. And no fears at all, because it was so good. Okay, so in this one, we're introduced to everything. We're introduced to the world of Harvest, Ohio, and our protagonist, Bailey King. Bailey is a well-renowned chocolatier who used to work in New York City, but has moved back to Harvest, Ohio's Amish country to assist her grandmother, who works at a candy store because her grandfather is not feeling well at all. So, one night, so the first night that Bailey gets there after she's done a whole day of cooking and assisting her grandmother, Bailey finds she's having trouble sleeping, so she goes downstairs. They live above the candy store. So she goes downstairs to get something to eat, and when she gets down into the store, it's only to find that someone is there. Yes, they're there. That's scary. Scarier still, they're actually dead. And so someone's been murdered using a knife that Bailey had used earlier that day to chop up candy, which makes Bailey a prime suspect. So Bailey decides to do whatever she can to clear her name. In other words, try to find out who the actual killer is. which is the only way to clear her name. And also, because of the murder that has occurred, the candy store is closed, pending the investigation and the outcome of the investigation. So there's another motivation for Bailey to try and work this out. So Bailey gets, calls her friend, her best friend, who she works with at the chocolate place in New York City. I forgot her name, I'm sorry. Is it like Cassandra or something? I don't even know. Gets her to come down and help Bailey solve this mystery. It was so good. I loved it so much. And that's the thing. I wanted to love it. But if I want to love a book and I don't love it, I'm going to tell you all I didn't love this book and it really disappointed me, and here's why. But this one I did. I loved it and it made me so happy. Alright, so let's fly through all of these. So that's basically your premise of book 1. Book 2, Lethal Licorice. I think this one is the one where we have the competition. Yeah, so there's a confectionery competition that goes on in this one. I really enjoy any sort of competitions that happen in cozies, so that was a whole lot of fun. Premeditated Peppermint Book 3 is set in Christmas time, so that was a whole lot of fun. Book number 4 is Toxic Toffee. I think it's set at Easter, and Bailey has to make this giant Easter bunny, giant, feet tall bunny. So love that. It was a whole lot of fun. Marshmallow Malice, deals with a marshmallow topping that's on a wedding cake. There's a wedding that's taking place. So that was interesting as well. I love these titles because the titles are so accurately named. There are some titles, whether it's for the series or for the book itself or a book in the series, that don't make sense to me, but all of these do. So I just love it. Book number 6, Lemon Drop Dead. In this one, there is a baby shower thing that is planned for someone that we know, don't want to give it away. Their favorite flavor is lemon, so it is lemon themed. And Peanut Butter Panic. This is really interesting because in this one, peanut butter ends up being the downfall for the victim, where usually with the books in Amish Candy Shop, they are titled for something to do with food that's a good thing. And in this case, it ended up being the downfall for the victim. So there you go. But this one's set in Thanksgiving. So yeah, really enjoyed all of them. I would say premises and stuff, but honestly, it will spoil so much if I do. You just need to read the series because it is just so good. Investable characters, funny characters, such a great world. Very different from our own. If you're not Amish, I'm not Amish, so it's very different from my own. So yeah, found that all intriguing. Let's quickly take some time to talk about the novellas. I'm going to put novella number 1 up on the screen, which is Criminally Coco. And yeah, I liked this one. I'm trying to remember which one this is actually. Okay, so Criminally Coco is book 3.5, the first novella in this series. One thing I love about all the novellas is that the mystery is not a murder. It is some other type of mystery, which is great because we are really mixing things up, which is great because most of the cozies that I read, the mystery is a murder. So yay. In this first one, not a lot I can say. Bailey ends up having to go somewhere and she's accompanied by her cousin Charlotte, who we've gotten to know by this point. In a twist of writing style choices, Amanda Flower has made Charlotte the protagonist in this book. So we get to see things through Charlotte's eyes, which was so refreshing. Now on to novella number 2, Botched Butterscotch. In this one, we do switch back to Bailey being a protagonist, and someone ends up stealing money that is being used to, that is being raised for someone's struggling farm. And so we're trying to find out who that is. Oh, and in the first one, Bailey has to go somewhere. While she is there, a number of things end up happening that don't seem like they are exactly a coincidence. So we're trying to find out what is going on here. Is there some sort of a mole, I guess, in their midst? So that was that one. And then the third one, Candy Cane Crime, we go back to Charlotte. And in this one, Charlotte is receiving notes. And it just ends up being really adorable because Charlotte needs to try and work out who her secret admirer is. And that literally is the mystery. It's set at Christmas time. It's just really beautiful. So different from not only a lot of other cozies, which is just fantastic, where the dominating mystery is murders anyway, but so different from the main series where all the murders are mysteries in the main books. So there you go. Yeah, every single one of the books in this Amish Candy Shop series, whether it is a standard book or a novella, received either 4 or 5 stars from me. It is so good. Next year, we have the next one coming out. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Blueberry Blunder. It is coming out on the month of my birthday. So what a way to celebrate my birthday month in 2023. I am so very, very excited about that. And here's a little teaser for you. I'm going to give away 2 series that are going to be on my SAS list next year because I did 2 Amanda Flower series this year. I'm going to do another 2 next year. And so they are going to be the Magical Bookshop Mystery Series and the Magic Garden Mystery Series. I can't wait to sink my teeth into 2 more of Amanda Flower's series. Love her as an author. Alright, now it is time for everyone's favourite game that we like to call Up. These are all of the books I discussed in this episode of my completed series that were on my SAS list. Do you have any completed series on your SAS list that you'd like to discuss? Let me know about them in the comment section below. I can't wait to hear. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it, letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind and love one another, and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading. Bye everyone!